is Michelle Burnworth, and I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm a medical underwriter. I think for me, happiness is definitely an inside job. Just being in the moment, like having those, things or tools that you can go to, that makes you feel happy, that makes you feel alive. By my definition of happiness, am I happy? I would say yes. And I think that a lot of that comes from taking moments to feel grateful and realizing what I have and, how beautiful life is and where I find that beauty. I work out often, physical fitness, mental fitness, and all that is a big part of my life. What led to that is obviously like life events. The stress in school that I felt was, it could be financial. It's just the pressures and stress of, getting good grades. And I also worked 2 jobs throughout school. I paid for school myself. If I had student loans, they're in my name, and I'm a first generation college student. So that was like a whole thing because, I didn't really have anyone prior to me to kind of learn from, So the whole process of going to school, and I was down in Cincinnati by myself, at a younger age. At that time, not being in a great relationship was a huge thing for me. A lot of times I would kind of let those personal relationships get in the way of my goals. So, Michelle today would be like, oh, hell no, I'll never forget, I was like a senior in college. This was like 2014. I was at my heaviest. I was uninspired. I just made a decision, just then and there. I just really dove into the gym and taking care of myself and changing the way that I ate. Then I started learning about the power of food and food being medicine and just the things that I'm eating, how that could be making me feel negative or positive. For me, I know happiness is when I feel good, when I feel healthy, and it's mind, body, and soul. Fitness is it gives you an opportunity to take your power back, essentially. And there's not one time when I move my body that I regret it. Fitness has kind of always been a part of my life because I played sports when I was younger and I was obsessed with basketball. Wanted to be a basketball player, and since that didn't work out, I think that fitness just made the most sense. I had to do something. I wanted to do something that was good for my mind and my body, essentially. I'm new to working at home permanently, so for me, I think it's just finding a space where you can work, a good quiet space, and thankfully I have my own office that we're in. Work life for me through the pandemic and now was crazy. There was a lot of stress and anxiety for me throughout the pandemic. It's gotten way better now, way better, but definitely 2020, obviously it was a hard year for everybody. I can technically work really from anywhere as long as there's Wi-Fi. So I don't stay in this office 24/7. Coffee shop, my where I live, they have a clubhouse. I've worked in there. This is just a different setting, You don't have to be in your personal space and work. I have a dog, and a lot of times I leave the door open for her most times, and she's in here by me and sometimes comes up to me. But honestly, I'm not gonna change that because that's sometimes you need to look away. Step away when I want sometimes, and midday I'll usually have an hour break, and I can go for a hike or something and get inspired, for example, and that I think reminds me of the beauty, reminds me of how big life is, and again it brings me back to that present moment, which I feel equates to my happiness as well. My family and friends are definitely happy, and they definitely see the growth, personally for sure, and professionally. And I also think like they're inspired in their own ways. I'd lost like 55 pounds the one time, and I'm kind of at a place where like the pandemic I gained some, so now I'm trying to get back to that. But I'm always looking to like challenge myself or get better, and I think that they see that and they like that because I feel like that's what they want for themselves as well. I feel that my path, with happiness and everything leading into the future I think it's pretty solid. I think it's set. It's so easy to think about, especially with social media. It's so easy to think about like what we don't have or where we're not at, and I think that makes us lose sight of like everything, how abundant our life is. When I finally learned to love myself, I learned how powerful that was, because I knew that happiness was like always in my pocket. So it's like this big, huge, powerful lesson that like once you feel it and learn it, like no one can take away from you. I'll always be able to like, I guess, find the happiness within myself, from here on out through the rest of my life. That doesn't mean I'm happy 24/7, because I'm not, and no one is. But it means that like I know how to dip into that, and I know where that comes from for me. My story can be my impact, if that makes sense, And yeah, I just kind of fell in love with like taking care of myself.
How do you feel?
Good. Happy.